Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the NRG series Legacy Trial. Today, I am your host, Mr. Collector, my co-host, Drake Sasser. And Drake, we're in round number 3 of the Legacy action, and we've got some spicy ones in our feature match area. But before we go there, we're going to quickly check out our players to watch and see how they're doing today, as we are on our third event before we end of the year. And wow, Casey, Garrick, 2-0. Everyone else, 1-1. A lot of losses this round. We had a lot of X and O in round 1. A lot of even and down round 2.
I love this round because this is really where, things start to get messy. It's like everybody's 1-1. It's not clear how your tournament's going to go. You could basically win out, draw in, be in a good spot. You could take a second loss and have your back against the wall. These are really where, once you're at that 1-1 spot, you're taking your first loss, but you got some wins under your belt. That's really where things start to kind of get messy, where you really have to lock in, as the kids say. So a lot of locking in to be done from our heroes on this list. We got to see Garrick already has done his locking in against Peter Terbergen last round. We got to see him win an exciting 3-game match. And Casey Ryback, we haven't seen a lot of, so I think we should fix that. We should watch a little bit of what he's got going on this round.
Yeah, as we head to our feature match here, you got Casey on your right with Red Painter versus Charlie Dustenberg on your left with Blue Cloudburst. Charlie's someone who's been doing really well as Casey has been in the recent time, played champs last year. And I think someone who, every time I watch Charlie play, I'm always very impressed with how tight the play is, and also how often it's a deck that I don't quite expect. And Drake, tell me a bit about this Blue Cloudburst. What's Charlie up to this weekend?
Yeah, so nice range here to the players here, and obviously Charlie Dustenberg on Blue Cloudpost, named after the card itself. Cloudpost, land with the subtype Locust, and that's the thing you look for when you're playing these post cards. So that makes a colorless for each Locust on the battlefield. Traditional builds of this were green, and they would play things like Primeval Titan, get a bunch of them, and then start trying to Caracas bounce an Emrakul until your opponent died. This deck looking to do something very different. MH3 was a huge shot in the arm to this deck, and now the deck features the full set of Kozilek's commands. You see Disruptor Flutes in the main, and it's picked up, obviously, the new Ugin Eye of Storms. Really a lot of recent pickups for the post deck, and now it's looking to play a little bit more of a fair game. Obviously, now that you're blue, you get Force of Will, you get Tishana's Tidebinders, you get interaction that a lot of the green Cloud Post didn't used to play. And so that's kind of what the blue deck here's got going on. The other side of the table, the red deck, a lot more traditional of a look. The Painter deck, looking to assemble Painter's Servant plus Grindstone to mill your opponent out infinitely. But what's fun about this matchup is that gets complicated when your opponent has an Emrakul the Aeon's Torn in their deck, because it just shuffles back in. So the Painter combo actually doesn't work really well in game 1. So we're gonna have to be doing some backup plans here. Is Casey Ryback.
All right, Goblin Welder, turn 1 into Agatha's Soul Cauldron, off into Urza Saga, turn 2 for Casey. Charlie, play just one of those Locust lands and pass the turn.
There's a second one. Now Cloudpost powered up to a 2-mana land.
All right, so a lot of mana here available already just on turn number 3, and it's only getting bigger from here. So we're going to pass. So Agatha's is a way to get through the first Emrakul activation when you go for your Painter Servant combo. But
this is just a backup plan, right? We have a Phyrexian Devourer that you can just map onto a creature with your Agatha's Soul Cauldron and just get something through for an Infinity Sign. That's kind of your other combo that you have present in this deck. We saw a lot of it when Agatha's Soul Cauldron first came out. Kind of went by the wayside. Oh yeah, there's an oldie but a goodie. Didn't know they reprinted this thing at uncommon. 7 and greater, got to sacrifice it. Well, you don't copy that text, but what you do copy is that activated ability. Remove the top card of your library from the game, and then put X counters on it, where X is the remove card's converted mana cost.
Yep, and that is a powerful ability gain, as we are going to see Kozilek's Command take down the Goblin Welder into force, pitching Tishana's Tidebinder to take down the Fable, the Mirror Breaker, as Charlie's used a lot of resources here, but Lauren Revealed's going to go get an island. A
little bit of blue mana for the first time. This is where we're going to get to see some of the blue spells get added to the mix. There's the 5 forces in the main. We have 1 Force of Negation, 4 Force of Wills. Our other blue spells that we have access to are Stock Up. That's at 3. And then we have Tishana's Tidebinder also at 3. So Cloudpost plus this island makes the mana we need for our blue spells.
All right. Robot Island hits the battlefield.
A nice one. On theme. Stock Up. 4 of in this deck. Going to be the play.
Stock Up been really impressive across most formats. We even saw it make some waves in Vintage. Now here in Legacy, making a little bit of debut on the NRG series.
Big fan of the card selection style cards. A little high on rate is that one. And they've been doing a lot of that. Consult the star charts. They're really redefining what it looks like to cast a divination in Magic the Gathering just across these recent sets. And stock up really the first and most emblematic of that effect so far is here goes the Saga. So now Saga's nice, does grab Grindstone, can't grab Painter. Not clear that you want any of that here because again, if you see Cloud Post, if you're Casey Ryback and you've been playing Legacy for any length of time, it should be pretty self-evident that you know there's going to be an Emrakul in the deck. But like you said, Agatha's Soul Cauldron will actually disrupt that. So we can try to go for it using Agatha's Soul Cauldron for its graveyard hate mode to tag the Emrakul on that first activation. But it's slow.
Yeah, it's definitely not the world's fastest plan.
No.
All right.
Charlie, having just cast stock up, is also loading up for a longer game. Okay. There's Painter.
Yeah.
All right. Thinking about that one is Charlie. Not clear that he has interaction for it. Would need another mana source to activate right now, I believe. Grindstone, a 3 mana to activate. Only got 2.
Yep. Bizarre card.
It is a bizarre card. That's really true. I don't know what the vision was here, but if they share a color, why is... Okay, whatever. 1 mana, target player puts the top 2. And then they share a color, repeat this process. Painter makes them all look at the same color, even the lands. As we go back to Charlie, who plays a Planar Nexus, I believe, followed by a Chalice of the Void. So now the Cloud Post makes 3. Chalice going to end up on 1, and that's getting blasted because Painter named blue, even though it's not a blue card. So it gets to get blasted.
And this is one of those weird things about this Painter deck, right? When you're changing the color of all your opponent's cards, you get to main deck these Pyroblasts, have situations like this come up where your opponent's not used to it. But also in some matchups, our feature match here has had a lot of blue decks. Sometimes you just get them, Game 1, they're playing blue cards. They're often a lot of the best ones in Legacy, and you just have a bunch of main deck, cards that people normally sideboard. As Painter Servant's going to attack and then pass the turn.
It's been a trick for this deck for ages. Also, turning the lands blue means you can use them as stone rains, too. You can just go after your opponent's lands, which comes up. And, this is really kind of a classic matchup, I guess, if you're just Magic the Gathering fan. We got blue deck and blue sleeves versus red deck and red sleeves. Talk to me. It's just red versus blue in the purest form.
I think Charlie drew Tashana's Tidebinder.
A nice one against the Grindstone stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that will turn that off. Urza's Tower,
A motley crew of lands in this deck. But I think Planar Nexus, because it is an Urza's Mine and an Urza's Tower.
Yes.
Makes that make 3. So that's another 3 mana land. So we have 2 3 mana lands. Yeah, let's get a look at Planar Nexus. Oh, that is not the reminder text we need. Every non-basic land type. The other printing has the reminder text. It is a cave, desert, gate, lair, locust, mine, power plant, sphere, tower, and Urza's. So yeah, Urza's Tower online off of just Planar Nexus.
Yeah, Planar Nexus is truly one of the cards of all time. It's just kind of nice. Honestly, when people talk about commander designs, they often actually talk about cards I think aren't commander, and this one is. This is like, I give you your rights to complain about it if you want to, but it's just sick. It's like, yeah, it's everything.
It's nice. It's nice. And these Urza's Towers are nice too. I mean, like I said, functioning kind of as the Locust lands, just making 3 mana each. Although Charlie, a lot of mana, nothing to do with it at the moment as the Painter beatdowns continue. Only 2 cards in hands, it looks like, for Casey.
And we're in an interesting spot too, where there's only 1 Emrakul in the deck too, right? So
right.
If Charlie puts an Emrakul on the stack, then Casey can Grindstone in order to mill Charlie out for that extra turn.
Right, because then it's gone.
Yeah, so it's a little bit of an interesting dynamic going on here, as it looks like a Chalice of the Void is being cast for 1.
Okay. I mean, I think we can activate in-step, use Agatha's, and then go for it, but we're choosing not to, I assume, because Casey sniffed out the Tidebinder? You just don't want to expose your stuff to Tidebinder?
Yeah, I think so. And it's possible too. I think one of the Tidebinders got pitched to a force early. And so I think Casey might just be thinking okay, that's the one card I can realistically lose to. And, is thinking, okay, if an Emrakul hits the stack, we talked about a second ago, there's Karn the Great Creator. That card is a lights out type card if it hits the board here. for
Yeah, you
Casey's
can't
deck.
let that one resolve. That one's got to get blasted, or else you're in a lot of trouble. And I don't think we're going to waste any time casting that one. We sure aren't. And with Chalice of the Void on 1, I'm not sure there's anything Casey can do about this. I think we're now at just milieu.
Yeah, and
But
Charlie has.
milieu is going to get tide binded.
Yeah, there's 2 Tidebinder mages in hand.
So nice, we could do it twice.
Yeah, and I mean, with the Chalice on 1, there's not much that can go super wrong here for Charlie, but I think Charlie might be going over the Agatha Cauldron trigger instead of the actual Grindstone, with the idea being that Emrakul will just counter that part anyways.
Right. Yeah, there's an Emrakul. And yeah, now he's going to tag it with the Agatha's Soul Cauldron.
Okay, so Charlie's not going to fight over that one. Maybe wanting to save the idea of saving the Tidebinders for the next Grindstone activation.
I mean, if this card resolves, there's nothing left, right? We're all done here. So we're kind of in garbage time. Maybe don't show them you have a bunch of Tidebinders. I mean, I feel like Casey's been playing around it the whole game, so you're not really gaining anything otherwise. But for the most part, it looks like this card is just going to be lights out. Anyway, I don't know what that printing.
I assume that's a Microsynth Lattice, but I don't know for sure.
There is one in the sideboard. It's a safe bet, and I think that is exactly how this goes. And yeah, we're going to scoop them up.
All right.
When you come to Legacy to do stuff you don't get to do in Modern, well, the card Microsynth Lattice Fun Time is among that list. And we are done. Charlie Dusterberg gets game number 1.
Yeah, really impressive stuff there from this deck, too. Shows that it has some weird play to it. Let's go check out Ryback's deck, though, and see what this Painter deck has to offer in the sideboard. Kind of a budget option, by the way, in Legacy if you're wanting to get in, all things considered. 2 Abrade, 1 Blood Moon, 3 Fury, 4 Leyline of the Void, 4 Magus of the Moon, 1 Pithing Needle. Drake, what do you like here and why?
Moon effects. Give me the Magus of the Moons. Give me the Blood Moons. Stop all of that mana nonsense. Let's get that out of here. And obviously, I think once you know about the Emrakul, you kind of want to adjust a little bit on the Painter plan. I mean, you only see 2 Grindstones. You could tune her up anyway. I think the Painters themselves are too key to your plan with making the blasts work, especially given he's already a blue deck. So your cuts get complicated, but a lot of the like mid-rangey stuff is just kind of bad anyway. Like they go so far over the top of you. Like the Fables, I think, are Fs. I think they're not good at all. You don't want to be playing this like weird, slow, grindy game because Charlie Dusterberg's deck's just going to go way over the top of you. So I think you want to be all in on getting either a Moon effect in play or the combo. And the cards that are best at that, obviously Moons. And I would get some of this mid-range stuff out of here. Maybe you can even trim some of the blasts if you're feeling that. But yeah, that's where I'm at with the Painter deck.
Checks out to me. Let's check out Dustenberg's Blue Cloud Post deck, as we've got a lot of options here on our sideboard with 2 Consign, 2 Dismember, 1 Ensnaring Bridge, 3 Force Negations, 1 Grafdigger's Cage, 1 Hydroblast, 1 Liquid Bell Coating, 1 Microsynth Lattice, 1 The One Ring, 1 Tormund Crypt, and 1 Walking Ballista.
Yeah, a little bit of a Karn Great Creator sideboard going on here. The easy ones for me are the Hydroblast. I like that against the red deck for obvious reasons. And then Consign to Memory is appealing as well. That one can get complicated if a Painter ever hits play, because then the colorless spells are gone. But in the meantime, they're usually quite good. From there, you need to decide how much you want to attack on the creature axis. Do you want to try to stop the non-creature stuff with Force Negation? Do you want to stop the creatures with Dismember? If you know about Magus of the Moon, you got to bring in Dismember. If you know they have 4 of those, you got to bring in the Dismembers. It's not clear that Charlie does. Assuming he does, you're going to want those Dismembers too.
Nice. That makes a lot of sense to me. Drake, I'm looking over this Blue Cloud Post deck. I think I own everything except Ancient Tomb and Planar Nexus. So local legacy, beware. I think I'm coming in hot.
You're just going to come paint them up? Yeah. Not paint them, get them with the Emrakuls, the cards?
Yeah, just Planar Nexus. And when they say, I'll be like, all lands. Everything,
It's all types. Would you like the list? You got to get the reminder text one. The reminder text on Planar Nexus is nice. An inspired piece of reminder text. It's kind of flavor text too.
Yeah,
what's going on?
It's got everything going on over there. Well, it's an exciting deck, and this is one of the cool parts of Legacy, right? I mean, listen, Charlie's 2-0 right now, up a game, right? Could easily be 3-0 at the end of this round. Playing this sort of deck that, I don't think that when people think about Legacy, this is really what they're thinking about, right? This kind of slow, like, ramp controlling deck. It's just not what people think about when they think about Legacy.
You're telling me you're not dying on turn 2 with this thing?
Yeah, you are dying on turn 2 with this thing, just not the.
Well, it's a different sort. It's a different sort of death. To be fair, it's a different sort of death. I mean, but this is like speaking to it. This really is what makes Legacy so great. Like Cloudpost is a deck that really disappeared with the death of Miracles back in the day. You know, a slow control deck. What's the best way to get over the top of that? Just I don't know, play some lands that make 1 billion mana and Emrakul a bunch of times. So like really, that's that green Cloudpost deck that I was referencing is what we saw as the face of Cloudpost, and it disappeared entirely, really, for many years. And now here's Charlie making a comeback with, we got cards from this year. You know, we got Ugin Eye of the Storms to just start blowing stuff up. We got stock ups. We got, you know, all these new cards you get to play with. That's what makes Legacy so great, is old, powerful stuff that's really appealing for some folks, and they really wanted to, you know, play with these set of cards forever. It may not be the best thing to be doing all the time, but it's going to be justifiable, you know, at some point in time. And, you know, if you've been holding on to your Cloudpost in your binder, you know, here you go. Charlie's giving you a reason to slim them on back up. Maybe Mason is too. He's going to go be the local Legacy terror.
Yeah. Well, you know, right now I have a Team Legacy event coming up, Drake. So, you know, this is all
nice.
Yeah. It's Legacy Pauper Standard, and I've weaseled my way out of Standard. You know, I'm like, hey, you know, I know I'm the guy, but like, you gotta trust me on Legacy here. And so I got those are the cards I own, but I apparently own these cards minus Planar Nexus. So.
This is nice. No, this is nice. Get some Forcibles and some Chalice. That's a nice little set of dingers. I think we're kind of doing it.
All right, and here comes the Goblin Welder with a Lotus as well.
Oh, 2 mana on turn 1 for both players.
Ancient Tomb, Chalice of the Void, pass.
So fun, man! I can't stand Chalice of the Void. I hate that card so much. That's like if I could get someone like Magic as a whole to unprint a card like it never existed, Chalice of the Void's my pick. That thing is miserable. As I think Casey's about to learn, get the experience.
It's interesting here that you can cast like, you know, your some of your cards into it and then welder them back with the Lotus. So yeah, there's some
maybe. well, maybe. No.
Two cards of Great Creator off the mismatching Ancient Tombs here for our old Charlie Dustenberg. And now we got to think, what are we going to go search up from our deck? It's interesting. You know, you can get Mycosynthelatus, especially if you have the 3rd Ancient Tomb. And, you know, you can kind of slam that and then you've got the game kind of done. But also, yeah, you can just grab Liquid Metal Coating and then start blowing up lands in the next turn. I was also curious if we were going to maybe see, nice, a little Abrade action. A tick up on the Karn could have been pretty cool too.
Yeah, there's a couple of those in the sideboard. I forgot to call those out. I was so excited by the moons. I forgot to call it. You need the Abrades to get the stuff out the way. So now Chalice gone. If we can get Painter going, we can blast the Karn away. This Lotus Petal doesn't work anymore, and that's just
Blood Moon.
A golden thing.
It's a blood moon. It's a blood moon, yeah. And now Charlie does have Liquid Metal Coating and Karn. And those
Welder's actually interesting too. You can weld your opponent. You can like weld the Chalice back in for 0 and weld away a problematic artifact later. There's like some play here still. Like you said, if there's another Ancient Tomb, we just get Lattice and we're probably all done.
Well, the Blood Moon has like really made things so interesting because now Karn's going to just go after these lands. So Casey needs to have something like Magus of the Moon that can pressure this Karn or another Goblin. We need to get more power on the board. We have to get out from underneath this Karn lock.
Cloudpost should come in tapped. I don't know if there's something I missed there.
There's a Blood Moon in play.
Right. You mentioned the gold thing as a Blood Moon. Well, now there's a second Blood Moon in play, and that actually adds power. That's meaningful, right?
Yeah.
And we get to weld away. We get to do the trick. Get to weld our opponent's stuff. That's so sick.
Yeah, you mentioned it. I totally forgot there in the moment. All right. And the Magus tier 2 to keep the Karn under lock and key.
Oh, yeah. Heard of this card? Goblin Welder? Banger. Oldie but a goodie. Choose target artifacts a player controls and target artifact in that player's graveyard. Both targets are legal as this ability resolves. Rolls right off the tongue. That player simultaneously sacrifices the artifact and returns the artifact card to the battlefield. Nice.
All right. We're going to see the One Ring come down.
One Ring. Heaters for Charlie all the way down.
This is one of the more powerful cards we've seen in the last couple of years, especially for these big colorless mana decks. We saw this resurge the Tron deck in Modern and doing a lot of good work here as well.
Notably doesn't protect your Karn though. So now our attack force here actually pretty nice against the Karn. And I think we can actually weld away the One Ring too. Because this thing is you sacrifice it. You don't.
Yeah. So you can weld the One Ring, but then you're back to getting codinged. So but it might not be that big a deal, right? Because like the Karn's almost dead anyways. So I'm gonna be curious to see sort of what happens here.
It's tricky. Yeah, it's tricky now. As back to Charlie we go, and he's really working up to lattice mana even underneath all this. But the Karn's under a lot of pressure. Can animate the One Ring, right? We can do that with Karn. That's like a thing.
Yeah, that turns into a 4/4.
So big. It's getting weird. Lorraine revealed can find an island that turns on blue mana for Charlie. So that's actually a big one.
I love this, by the way. I was looking at this earlier. The Lorraine revealed there's 2 and there's 2 islands.
Just sliding it up. Perfect.
Yeah. If I have my 2 islands, what do, Drake? I draw 3 cards. If I don't, I get an island. It's just sometimes it's good to have a little on-rail play, Just let you know what you need. As we are going to see this island come in, and this is huge. I mean, we're joking here, but these Blood Moon type effects are something this deck really worries about. So getting this island, now Charlie's back into playing, and we have it to shine his Tidebinder in hand.
I think, we're going to go ahead and weld away the one, maybe not, because Charlie did actually animate the One Ring. That's a creature now. Yeah. That's on point to that. So welding it away is really appealing, and we can get Tidebindered now. I think we want to. Yeah, we definitely want to get this Tidebinder on the Goblin Engineer. And a lean back there from Casey. That's a big problem. Blast, maybe among his better draws, can get the Tidebinder unlocked, then get the One Ring cleared, and then attack with all of the Maguses. So, a Blast plays, assuming we still have them going on in the deck. Oh, we do have one. Yeah, Tidebinder, get out of here.
Pretty big. I'm curious to see if Charlie goes just for the draw 2 on the One Ring here, just to like guarantee an extra card.
Yeah, if he has forces, I think it's nice. And his hand's not good. Some lands and a Lorraine revealed that we can't cast.
Yeah. Well, luckily we'll be gonna get the
second island, so we're just dialed up.
Yeah. On rails, baby. All right. We're gonna swap here. All right, we're gonna do this.
Draw his cards now. More lands, not what Charlie wants to see, man. All right, welcome back, coding. Welcome to the beatdown train. Maguses.
Yeah, is there anything you can do with coding before damage? I don't think so.
I don't think so, because it's not like it matters afterwards. It just gives them more things to potentially weld or whatever. As here comes Goblin Engineer, a nice follow-up. Truly an attack force we've assembled here for Casey Ryback. And, the Magus the Moons, you have 4 of those, only 1 of the Blood Moons. This is part of why. It's a creature. It attacks. It's nice.
Yeah. It's super huge. And we're going to see here, too, I mean, Charlie can draw, like, Karn. But part of the problem with having all these lands in hand is we can't get, like, a bridge going to, like, hide behind for a while. Bridge.
Oh, that's adorable. We have our one of Phyrexian Dragon Engine that actually has Unearth. Costs 5 to unearth that thing, but you can weld it in play. And if it enters from the graveyard, which it would with the welders, you still get to do the draw 3 cards thing. Discard your hand, draw 3. So we can get that thing. Oh, yeah. Take a look at this dinger from the Brothers War, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Double strike, attacks. But more importantly, when it enters the battlefield from the graveyard, you can discard your hand if you do draw 3. Nice with welders.
Yeah. Meld with Mishra claimed by Gix. Gonna have to need to do
not doing a lot of that.
Yeah. But it could. It'd be a 9/9. Very big. We need
the art on that backside is unreal. Chris Ron popped off with that thing.
All right. Play design for Commander. We need planar Nexus, but for meld cards. I am every half of meld.
Make it stop. Stock up a good draw for Charlie Dusterberg. Maybe. Kozilek's Command big. One ring number 2. Need a land for it, but I know Charlie has lands. He's not missing on those things.
Land's the one thing we got going for us.
It's awkward because the One Rings can just kind of get welded away. Do we have any other artifacts, or are we just out of non-One Ring artifacts in the graveyard?
I think the graveyard's just the One Ring when it comes to artifacts.
Okay. So we can draw some cards.
Yeah,
we're just kind of dying.
I think Charlie needs to somehow set up I surprise a Magus of Moon in combat, then I somehow kill the other one, and then I slam Emrakul. Because there is a ton of mana in play underneath all the. I guess
still a Blood Moon, right? We have 3. There's 3 moons to work through. So that's the problem at hand. Disruptor Flute.
Okay, so that's like a Pithing Needle type effect. So you can name the welder.
Okay.
That's something. There's Ugin, Eye of the Nexus. That's a way to answer
That's
What
big. Yeah, that gets rid of the moon, and then you can like maybe plus up, make some mana, and colorless mana especially because you're actually short on that, right? You don't have any
Yeah.
wastes, so things that have colorless pips are pretty hard to use, like the Kozilek's command. So we actually can start to clear stuff. Ugin's a huge draw.
Yeah, and this also is just gonna every time you cast a colorless thing, you get to use the ability again. It counts itself and others. So I mean, you could start by just hitting the Maguses of the moon,
I think you need to
right?
do that just to clear clear the attack force. Get that out of here. So we're going to exile. That actually exiles, but whatever. It's fine. It's in the yard. It does matter for some other stuff. And so we're actually, we get to uptick, play the One Ring, and then we also have life gain going on the Ugin itself. So now we're covered from dying. Yeah, those are exiled. 2 moon effects down, 1 more to go, and the One Ring's going to draw some more stuff. Yeah, Ugin might just be the key to dismantling the House of Cards Casey has going.
Yeah, I mean, next turn we can do something like Kozilek's command off the Ugin mana, get rid of the Blood Moon, right? And then you have so much mana that you probably can cast anything in your deck and a couple times
probably
over.
Just done.
Here's Fury.
4 counters down on the Ugin. Down to 3. And Mox Opal follow up with a Chalice on 0 that was missed by Charlie.
Yeah.
Maybe. And we get to weld it away, so it's huge. Yeah, 3 cards coming. Get to get rid of the Mox Opal.
All right.
All right.
Good play there for Casey. Sort of knows we have to just, Chalice check. Charlie, uncharacteristically sloppy there, sort of like me stumbling my words. As we do see Urza Saga come down.
The new Blood Moon. There's a Saga interaction. Used to just die. No longer just dies.
Yeah. I think it enters without a counter, though. I don't think it has text, but I think it still comes in.
I think that's what we're... no, it's like an as it enters.
Okay.
I don't know. It is the new interaction. Whatever it is, I know it doesn't die, which means it's a mountain of make mana. That's all I know. But you're not going to make dudes with it at all.
Yeah. You need to have already had like counters on it.
Right. Yes. Nasty stuff.
Okay. Well, we have the One Ring. Draw a couple cards.
And Ugin didn't die. So that means we get to just continue to rain down on Casey's permanence by making colorless mana with Ugin.
You have a Chalice in your hand that you can play, and then the Chalice also answers the Blood Moon, which lets you save the Kozilek's command as a dig spell. Yeah, use your Ancient Tomb while you're under the Blood Moon. That way you don't lose any life. Nice.
Yeah, Chalice on 1. So that's going to nuke the Blood Moon proper, and then we're out from under it, and we just have infinity mana, and I think it's pretty close to trivial from there, unless there's some secret damage hiding out for Casey, as there goes the Blood Moon proper. All of these sideboard cards drawn. I mean, I mentioned in the sideboard, Blood Moons were his best cards. That's true, but he just had no way to close the game.
Yeah, Karn did a great job of forcing the attention of Casey there. Mm-hmm. And we're going to let Charlie dig some with this stock up. We found another Ugin. We found another Karn, the Great Creator. Those are themselves probably enough to just honestly close out the game.
Yeah, there's so much mana with these cloud posts that I think each make 3 mana. We could just Karn, Lattice, done. Yeah, there's a Glimmer too, so there goes all the life. Yeah, the door's shut on everything. And I mean, what an impact card. This new Ugin Eye of Storms card from from the Tarkir Dragonstorm deck really unlocked. Oh, we should have Emrakul. Sure. Yeah. It's just actual factual Emrakul. The handshake from Casey and Charlie, the better of the 2 mono colors. Blue winning over a red. A tale as old as time.
It really is. Red couldn't quite close the door, so blue takes that with some stinky old draw spells. We've seen it for decades now. But yeah, really impressive stuff there. I mean, like you talked about, the Blood Moons were our best cards. We had multiple of them. We had a decent amount of pressure, but we just had enough time to barely get across the finish line there. Really great play from both players. And you saw, too, Casey kind of maneuvered around this weird deck. Clearly has a lot of reps on Legacy, right? Knew that, okay, I'm going to have to fight through this Emrakul, so I want to do this at the right time to also try to beat Tidebinders. Ultimately got God in game 1, but showed a lot of mastery for the deck in the format.
For sure. And, the players, this is really what the attractiveness of Legacy is. The players, they pick a deck, they find something that, really appeals to them and their play style, and they play it for a lot of years. Painters, Painter players have been passionate folks since the Miracles times. I was talking about how Post went away during the Miracles time, came back. That was like 13, 14? It's been a decade, and Painter's been around the whole time. So a lot of these players, especially when they got all the fancy foils and all that kind of stuff, like what Casey had going on, it's really just something that's near and dear to their heart. And that's really what makes Legacy so special, even above other formats, is you have people that have been for decades, sometimes even even all the way back to the start of Magic or whatever, have been playing a lot of the same styles and been able to play them throughout the ages in Legacy. You know, the whole card base available. It's really special to be able to have an opportunity to bust those decks out and play for some real prizes.
It really is. Well, let's cut to Charlie here. Charlie, congratulations on winning round number 3. How you feeling? Nice. So is this a deck you normally play in Legacy with the blue Cloud Post? It was just a thing for the weekend. How do we end up here?
And a half on Moto after seeing a bunch of the results that this deck was getting, but I have played quite a lot of Mono Blue Tron in Modern in the past, and this is kind of like the Legacy equivalent of that, and it shares a lot of cards with it. So at least some of the play patterns and interactions with the common cards, I think I have a pretty good grasp on from that.
A lot of port over from Mono Blue Tron. Kind of an offbeat deck even in Modern too. So this style in general clearly has a lot of appeal. Talk to me about the new cards. Was this a list you found online and just started working with, or did you have you been kind of had your finger on the pulse with this deck for a long time? Because like I said, I've seen a lot of new cards, stuff from Cloud Post that I personally haven't really seen before.
Yeah, the list. I think it was. I don't remember exactly who got like the first results with it, but this deck just started popping up like a couple weeks ago, and it's been getting like a bunch of challenge results and league trophies, that kind of thing. And it's still fairly new, so there's a lot of different ways to build it. There's like a lot of different card options that you could play that are under my list. Stuff like Thundertrap Trainer or Impulse, or I'm not really. Okay. I do have 4 Tidebinders in my list, but I'm not completely sure about it. That kind of thing. So. Yeah, there's a lot of options and different ways to build it, and all those are also pretty recent. So I'm interested to see where it goes.
Nice. Yeah, same. Exciting to see. Well, Charlie, we're going to give you a little bit of time to relax before the next round starts. Thank you for taking a second to talk to us about this deck and your experience, and hopefully we'll see more of you as the day continues.
Yeah, hope so too. Thank you.
Good luck.
All right, thank you, Charlie. Yeah, I mean, great work there. You can see Charlie very modest too, but I'll tell you what's not modest: our love of Magic. So let's go to the time shifted match real quick and see what is going on over there. As you do have Michael Kunze on the left with the Golgari Depths versus Jack Strepic on the right with Goblins.
Yeah, so Goblins not normally a deck, well known for their ability to deal with Merit Lage tokens. I don't know if that's changed in recent years. I'll have to take a look quickly at the deck list, which I do not have in front of me at the moment. But in general, I would say the Turbo Depths, as they're typically called when they're in the full Golgari mode. And this, I see a lot of that in the Depths deck here. We got the Vampire Hex Mages, we have the Urborg. So, we can start producing Merit Lages as quickly as turn 2. And actually we have Petals, so we can do it turn 1, right? No, we're short of land. Whatever. Either way, like this is a full-on Turbo Depth. 4 Elvish Spirit Guides, 4 Lotus Petals, designed really to put Merit Lage into play as quickly as possible in game number 1. And I would think that would be quite powerful. Get a quick look at the Goblins deck. Another traditional Legacy classic. 4 Aether Vial, 4 Wasteland, typically known for its use of Rashad Port. None of that here, as there's a Gemstone Mine and a Duress. That one probably not going to find too many targets in the 34 creature Goblins deck.
And it's a whiff. It is a whiff.
We got some readers.
All right, Goblin Matron. We got a couple Lackeys, and Lackey, a card that I would say where a lot of the power of this deck comes from, right? Is sort of going like turn 1 Lackey into hitting you.
For sure. I mean, back when the Deathrite Shaman days, people were like, oh, yeah, that's stopping Goblin Lackey. And then it kind of came back, and Goblins didn't. But they've gotten a lot of help from the Modern Horizon sets. You see some of that in Boggart Trawler, Broadside Bombardiers from the Lost Caverns of Ixalan sets. You see a lot of playing like Vintage Cube stuff. Just, what is it, the Munitions Expert. You get a lot of help from these Horizon sets that have really started to put this deck back on the map. And you get, obviously, still have Kiki Jiki and Conspicuous Snoop combo. That was a thing that was going on, and I think Pioneer for a while. You got a bunch of stuff going on with the Goblins deck. This is a favorite of Wizards of the Coast, you can tell by how they print things, but you can see just from that Goblin Lackey printing, this has been really where it all started. Just seeing this card, you putting Siege Gang commanders into play with this thing, and that's already nice. And some of these other stuff, Muxus, you got 3 of those. Put one of those in play, it gets nasty real quick. And Michael probably wants to do something about this Lackey for exactly that threat. We sure are. Assassin's Trophy. Yeah. Got to get rid of it.
So yeah, you go get a land. Assassin's Trophy, when it was previewed, by the way, people lost their mind. This was a card that they were like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be everywhere, form and standard. Basically unplayable its entire time of existing, which is
saw some play. Come on, it wasn't the main deckable powerhouse.
Unplayable decks. As we see now, we have 3 mana, and we have cards like Goblin Matron we can play. We're just gonna play another Goblin Lackey though, and pass the turn. We're threatening this Muxus in hand.
Yeah, this Muxus is so nice. We'll do it twice. Lackey threatening to ramp up quite a bit. Whenever it deals damage to a player, put a Goblin permanent from your hand onto the battlefield. Any of them. As here's Dark Depths, namesake of the Golgari Depths deck. Can't cast Vampire Hexmage off of Yavi Maya, though, but does allow this Depths to make mana and make your mind, you still have green mana from that, so you don't have to tap it and remove that last counter to cast spells. But we might have to trophy number 2, or else we got Muxus coming right now, as here comes Lackey into the red zone.
All right.
3 mana.
Is this an endurance? Oh, it's a
crop rotation mana floating. So we have 2 mana floating.
Okay.
What do we have to get? We have Bog doesn't do anything. If we grab Thespian Stage, which we will do, we have 2 mana left over, right? So we can make a Merit Lage token and block.
Goblin Lackey. Outdone and outsmarted by Merit Lage.
2020 token. Yeah, so you see the little trick there. Thespian Stage, able to copy Dark Depths, and then, of course, it checks to see if there's any counters on it. There isn't. And we have to sacrifice the original Dark Depths, the Legend rule, so we're down to 1 land. But we have a 2020 indestructible flying black Merit Lage token.
I love this
token.
Jack playing the Blood Crypt. Just need the duels. And you know what? I'll say it. People act like if they have a shock land in their legacy deck, they're just done for if they don't have Death Shadow. It matters sometime, but it's really not that big a deal. Yeah. It just comes up as, all right, here's another goblin. Do you remember this one, Drake?
Oh yeah, Stink Scourger. Come on, this is our answer.
Yeah.
It's it bounces. It's a little bit of a Manivore. He even has like a Manivore on his stick. That's the joke. Unfortunately, you get to attack before that can come down. So you need a little bit more mana to work with if you're going to get that going.
Michael was not fooled by it being in hand and freaked out. So we attack there. So time for the magic. We're going to fast forward to game number 2. See how our Goblins versus Depths players can do. I think that's the first time I've seen an Assassin Trophy win, Drake. So that was really great that we got to have that together.
Why are you such an Assassin's Trophy hater? What did that card do to you?
It did. So, well, first off, it cost me like $160 or whatever it was when I bought them at the beginning. And
they were expensive back in the day.
They were so much. I was duped. And then, I put 4 in my deck because I trusted people like Drake Sasser, tour champion or whatever on Twitter. And then I get got, I'm down all of this and I never play him again. No.
$3 is what an Assassin's Trophy will run you now. No Aether Vial for Jack. Unlucky. Does have an Ancient Tomb, looks like.
Yeah, Ancient Tomb. And I think a Blood Moon in hand.
I love the 4 Blood Crypts, but 3 Ancient Tombs. Like, Ancient Tombs like $100 or whatever. It's like, they're not cheap. It's just like, whatever. I'd rather have Ancient Tombs than Badlands, so I'm good to go.
Yeah. Might be a situation where, and we see this happen actually a lot in some of the older formats, where players get lands, and the lands are how they kind of like select a deck, right? So maybe Jack also has something like 8 cast, for example, and decided to play Goblins this weekend, but we have the Ancient Tomb. So a very common thing that happens in all these older formats where, the mana can be really expensive. And let's be honest, not fun to spend your money on. I don't want to spend $50 on a land. I'd rather spend, $40 on Assassin's Trophy.
Well, Jack, he just plays Goblins in every format. I'm getting an update. Yeah. So he's just a Goblins fan. And if you're a Goblins fan as well, not happy with what you just saw. That Blood Moon was looking to crush Michael on turn 2, shut down all of the land's effects with Blood Moon. But unfortunately got tagged by the turn 1 Thoughtseize. Again, 4 Duress, 4 Thoughtseize in the Turbo Depths deck. Really how they're looking to not get got by Blood Moons. As here is the Battle Cry Goblin, which does not actually have the keyword Battle Cry.
Yep. Jack, really looking forward to the return to Lorwyn here in just a couple months. More Goblins. Too. Yeah.
Talk to me. Yeah. I got a cube of Lorwyn cards I'm excited about. Come on.
Oh, wow. Gonna add some new ones maybe?
Oh, of course. Yeah. Come on. I'm going to be deep in the trenches. Boxes in hand, just everything. Just all. All
right. While Michael thinks about his turn, so I can't see his hand, would a card that's thematically from Lorwyn, but not released in a Lorwyn set, be allowed in your cube? as many
Yeah, of course. Yeah. We're just anything that makes the cube functional, because when you're playing with kindred stuff, the limited formats start to get really shaky really quick, especially when it's all kindred stuff or whatever. Vampire Hexmage, a nice one, can threaten a Dark Depths into Merit Lage on the following turn, although it is susceptible to removal this turn. And Wasteland, huge draw for Jack.
Yeah, super great draw.
So the Wasteland trick, while we're kind of reading through and not attacking into, well, maybe we are attacking into First Strike Goblin Hex Mages.
Okay. I think Jack is not realized that Hex Mage has First Strike, and that's a learning opportunity.
Well, I mean, it's hardly the card that mattered on the board, but that is tough. Little attack. Yeah, okay. To be fair, Hex Mage doesn't see a lot of play anymore. I still got one, running around my commander decks, but not when you see a lot. And gonna First Strike down the Battle Cry. Battle Cry worse than First Strike. As here is the Dark Depths, but Wasteland can break that up. Go to target it with the Hex Mage. No, thank you. Wasteland that, and then you're down 2 cards. So Michael needs that Wasteland to get tapped, or could Assassin's Trophy it?
Yeah, Assassin's Trophy it. You can also Wasteland it yourself, like if you crop rotate.
Got options. Crop rotation, another one. Although that one doesn't really work. Like if you have to target your depths, you can't go get another depths because you already targeted the first one. But here is a Sylvan Scrying. Okay, so if we get Thespian Stage, we can threaten the double activate by using Hex Mage first. You have to use Hex Mage first, because if you use Thespian Stage first, Jack just says, okay, thanks for sharing, and lets the depths get sacrificed to Legend Rule, and then Wastelands with the trigger to make Merit Lage on the stack. So you actually do, sequencing matters there, but this does get around the Wasteland.
Yep. That is in hand, I believe, as we played our land for turn. We're just searching it on up. So Jack has about 1 turn here to really make something happen.
Or, I mean, this is where no Aether Vial is kind of tough. Because if you had Aether Vial, you could leave it on 2 and threaten the instant speed Sting Scourger. We saw that's like really his big answer, is being able to bounce it there in game number 1. But, let's see, is there anything in game number 2? Do we have any answers to this thing? No, we just have the 1 Blood Moon. Love it.
Tough. The 1 of Fun of Blood Moon, bested by
no flying goblins yet, so no blocking to be done.
The return to Lorwyn.
It's coming.
Yeah,
there's that Goblin Balloon Brigade. You get the balloon.
The balloon to a goblin, then they can fly.
Sure. Good guy Jack also leaving his hand revealed for his opponent, and the cards facing him. Got to read the goblins. Reading the goblins explains the goblins. Also love the no attack with Hex Mage. Just, you know what we're doing here. This stuff doesn't matter. Get this out of here. We're making Merit Lages.
You have a Radiant Fountain in your deck? Good game. I'll take 2 turns to kill you.
Yeah, whatever. 2 turns. That's fine. Are you going to kill me? No, you're not. I have a Merit Lage. Get out of here. Take that somewhere else. No.
Jack, taking a think here.
Complicated puzzle what to do about a 2020. Again, that Thespian Stage does represent the ability to overpower a single Wasteland. Obviously, second Wasteland works. I mean, Sting Scourge doesn't work. A removal spell would work here. Like Munitions Expert, you can't cast is part of the problem. That one has a black pip in the mana cost. Do we have any more of the Gem Palm Incinerator? Are we doing that anymore? Or are we just fully off that? We are fully off of that. Crater Maker is a 1 of in the deck. We would need a land number 4 to make that happen. Tough puzzle here for Jack.
Yeah. And you can tell both players kind of know this is one of the last turns that matter.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, it's fine to take some time to think about the last turn. So we'd have the Ancient Tomb. That would make Crater Maker work now, because you just play Crater Maker and you can sacrifice it targeting the Hex Mage, and whatever he does, you're fine with.
Right, we have it? 3 mana card. Here's Goblin Matron.
Goblin Matron.
All right, now we go searching.
Okay. What do we have to get ourselves out against the Merit Lage? An oldie but a goodie. Can't stand this new art. Get the old art going here. What we got? Enters the battlefield. May search the library for a Goblin card. That card. Reveal it. Put it in your hand. We got Sting Scourger. Okay, so that's good against the Merit Lage. If we make the Merit Lage, that'll work. The problem is, I think the Thespian Stage and Hex Mage allows us to do it at instant speed. So we can take a turn off and just do it all at instant speed. Oh, but we can Wasteland here and upkeep. Very heads up.
Yeah, nice play here for Jack. Force the Merit Lage to get made, and then Sting Scourger it. Now, Michael could have another Dark Depths in hand, which would be a little awkward, but now We got this depths here. We pray for nothing like a lava spur boots. If you're
yeah. He kind of hates this. What do we got? Do we have any fanciness? No, but we do have a not of this world. Like we have 3 of those in the deck, and that would be kind of a blowout.
Yeah, that would be a very powerful.
Creature?
Now this world, pull that one up on screen for the people at home.
Oh no, it's creature and opponent control, so there's no other legal targets. Not of this world.
Oh,
Change
nice.
the target spell or ability that targets a single permanent you control. Kindred instant. All right, we have backup Hex Mage. So now actually not of this world would work because we can switch it to the Hex Mage. So we might have a trick here with the Sting Scourger. Auntie's Hovel. Yeah, you want to read that one? Signed. Good luck reading it. You're not going to do that, but you are going to read the Sting Scourger, which is going to bounce that thing. That's how that's going to work.
Hovel part of a weird land cycle, which maybe we'll see the return of if you reveal a creature.
I doubt it. They play horrible.
They are not the greatest lands we've ever seen, but basically untapped duel if you control a goblin.
Oh, yeah. Legolas's quick reflexes. Split second.
Pull it up on screen. Pull it up, cameraman. Yeah, split second. Untapped target creature until end of turn. It gains hexproof, reach, and whenever this deals, whenever this becomes tapped, it deals damage equal to its powered up to 1 target creature.
Sure.
So
just nuke something. There we go. Handshake. Merit Lane gets the job done. Oh boy. Oh,
this is what
much
happens.
I'm having too much fun. Legacy's awesome, man. This is just so much just nonsense. A 2020 flying token. Legolas's quick reflexes, so quick on the 2020. Yeah. The Sting Scourger, no good. Waved his Man of War around, didn't bounce the creature. Good luck.
Well, that's all the magic we have for you for round number 3. We're going to take a quick break, set up round number 4, and be back with more Legacy action. See you all very soon.
We'll see you soon.